My name is Stephen USSR Robinson, and thank you for watching Sporting Icons.
So with Deontay Wilder now activating the rematch clause to fight Tyson Fury again later on in the year, I guess maybe September time, my question to everybody is, can Deontay Wilder follow in the footsteps of Floyd Patteson, Muhammad Ali, Lennox Lews, Anthony Joshua, and become the 5th heavyweight in boxing history to lose the world heavyweight title and win it back in the immediate rematch? Now, my answer is I'm somewhere between the unlikely and no. Because for Wilder to do this, unfortunately, he's got Tyson Fury in the other corner. So that's the big disadvantage that he's got of putting himself into that very small, unique group. But the thing is, though, for Wilder to have any kind of chance of doing that, he needs to make a number of changes. First of all, he needs to be adding a lot more to his arsenal than what he currently has. Is at age of 34 years old, maybe 35, is that too late? Can you teach an old dog new tricks? Does he have it implanted in him to just rely on that big punch? Because I've said it time and time again, which is why I was so desperate for Anthony Joshua or Dillian Whyte to fight Deontay Wilder, because I knew they had the beating of him. I know Wilder fans are not going to want to hear that, but I said it because they're not going to be afraid of him. They're not going to sit on the outside. They're not just going to get careless. They're going to put it on him. And when you put it on Wilder, we've seen it time and time again. He gets rocked, he gets wobbled, and he gets in trouble. But he's always had that equaliser. But what Tyson Fury done is something that Tyson Fury doesn't usually do. He pressured him. He hit him with big, heavy shots and didn't let him off the hook. Even though Kenny Bayless seemed to be quite biased towards Wilder, that still wasn't enough. And Wilder hit the deck in round number 3 for the second time in his professional career in round number 3, and then hit the deck again for the 3rd time in his professional career in round number 5, and ultimately stopped on the ropes. Now, Wilder can say, I want to go out on my shield. Well, that's not a good thing. Because had Mark Breland not thrown in that towel, there's a very good chance Wilder would be in no condition to accept this rematch. Mark Breland saved him for another day. And I know a lot of the Wilder fans are unhappy with Mark Breland, and there's probably a very good chance that he's probably going to get rid of Mark Breland for that, which is ridiculous because his other trainer and, of course, manager, Jay Dees, wanted him to go out on his shield. He wasn't willing to throw in the towel, which is dangerous. Very, very dangerous. So which coach has Wilder's best interest at heart? You have to say Mark Breland, and Mark Breland was correct. If anything, I'll probably argue he's probably about 2, maybe 3 rounds too late in that one. Because now Wilder's in a position where now he's going to have to look at his camp. He's going to have to look at his whole setup. He's going to have to look at his career and say, why didn't I do this? They've been papering over the inconsistencies, the real outstanding flaws, because he's always managed to land a big punch. That's his get out of jail card. And I've always said he's not always going to be able to land it. And when he can't land it, he's done. That is not what an elite fighter is. An elite fighter is more than just a puncher. And for Wilder to put himself back in there, for Wilder to become one of the 5, as I already said, and for Wilder to put himself and cement a legacy, this is what he needs to do. And he's got a very short window in order to add something to his arsenal. Anthony Joshua, when he lost, he had that background of, he was always adding to his game. He studied the sport. He was always trying new things, so he could be adaptable. Yes, Joshua is a massive, massive puncher, but Joshua can be very, very technical when he has to be, because he's a student of the game. Wilder, listen, he only had, 37 amateur fights, which is only about 7 or 8 less than what Anthony Joshua had. So there's not a great deal of difference, but Joshua is always studying. He studies his opponents, sees the flaws. What are my attributes compared to him? And he implements that. Don't get me wrong, at some point Joshua may end up losing again. I've said it time and time again. I said it a long time ago. Of course, we don't want our fighters to lose. Of course we don't. But I always said that Joshua, at some point, he will lose. At some point, Dillian Whyte will lose again. At some point, Tyson Fury will lose. At some point, Deontay Wilder will lose. But when you're a hardcore fanatic, you can't accept that. You can't process that. It's heavyweight boxing. One punch changes everything. Now, with Wilder, he needs to reassess his backroom staff. He needs to get a few boxing people around, maybe bring in another coach, a technical coach. Now, Mark Breland is an excellent technical coach, but for some reason, he doesn't listen to Mark Breland. So he needs somebody in there, somebody new, somebody fresh, somebody with some other ideas and say, right, okay, this is where you're going wrong. This is what I want to see from you. In an ideal situation, he should have taken a couple of easier fights and learnt that trade. But he's accepted the rematch, so now he's going to have to try and implement it against Tyson Fury of all people. Because if he goes in there and doesn't change anything about his game, I'm sorry, but Fury's not just going to give him the beating of his life again. He's going to stop him very, very early in probably quite devastating fashion. Because again, I'm pretty sure Wilder is psychologically damaged over what happened, because he will be embarrassed. He put a lot of emphasis on this Black History Month, and with that ring walk and the suit of armor, which was fantastic, by the way, but no idea what his singer and that was saying, but I kept hearing black, black, black. That's all I was really hearing. So quite clearly, again, he was trying to go down that racial narrative. We're in 2020. There shouldn't be any need for any of that kind of thing anymore. But listen, it is what it is. He needs to put more emphasis on adding to his arsenal. But as I said before, Tyson Fury, very, very adaptable. Wilder's not going to know what Fury's turning up. This is Tyson Fury's first fight with Sugar Hill. Imagine what he's going to be adding with another fight with Sugar Hill. He's going to be more dangerous, going to be doing more things. So in some ways, it's a bit of a mistake for Wilder. In other ways, of course, he's going to get a good payday, and he has the opportunity to add himself to that list of 5. Well, currently 4, but can he be the 5th? As I said before, I'm stuck between the unlikely and no. But you know what? We'll have to wait and see what Wilder does. Wilder needs to keep himself away from the race baiting channels and those wrong people around him. That's what he needs to do. This is his opportunity now. Can he do it? I said unlikely, very, very unlikely. Can he add something to his game? He can add something to his game, but is it going to be enough? Anyway, we'll have to wait and see. Drop your thoughts below, click thumbs up, subscribe. Catch you all on the next video.